What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I am back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action. Spawning on the right side of the map in the blue color, going Storehouse on gold first. His name is Hagrit. His opponent today in the red color, becoming an Atlantean main, it would seem, after years of petitioning about removing Atlantean from the game. His name is Shadowfaxx. Currently 1-0 for Hagrit after a commanding first game. We'll see if he can keep it up in game number 2. It's a different beast though. Oranos making its way into the battlefield in the hands of Shadowfaxx is very, very scary. See how things are going to go, but Hades definitely not one of the strongest gods against Oranos in the game. I think that of all of the Greek gods, Hades is arguably the weakest against Oranos, though killing off an Oranos is a little bit difficult. Sorry, killing off a Hades is a little bit difficult. And if the Hades can survive, the Hades can win. And that is the same true with pretty much all of the vanilla gods against Oranos. But surviving is the big key. So, a couple of options here. Let's talk about strategies here which Hades can implement. So, strategy number 1, which I think is really, really strong, which players are not doing, is a 4-minute advance time, Hoplite, Hippocon, Athena. Requires good starting food, which does not exist on this map, which means you're basically not able to do a 4-minute advance time, so you have to go full 30. So, don't do that strategy on this map. So, put that one off to the side. Keep that for a rainy day when you get a better map. Second strategy. Fast second town center into full-on defend and trying to read what your opponent is doing strategically. Continuing to keep a Katoskopos alive or a Pegasus alive in order to scout out if your opponent is continuing to make units or not. If your opponent doesn't make units and goes for the greedy 3-town center strategy, you don't make units. You go heroic age. Very strong. You can get yourself straight into the heroic age. Get yourself Aphrodite. Get yourself your Nemean line and live the dream. If your opponent does make units, 1 town center, then you have to make units and you have to defend. And then you can try a underworld strategy. You go Apollo and you try and break down the back base or wherever your opponent isn't to try and find some advantages in the mythic age. Alternatively, there is a 1 town center strategy, 430, which you can do on kind of any map, where you try and just match your opponent Athena for Athena and see how that goes. So we'll see what's going to happen here in this game. So and conversely, let's talk about Oranos strategy pretty easily. If your opponent goes 2 town center, you go 3 town center. If your opponent goes 1 town center, you just mash units and you try and win. And that's it. There's no real crazy strategies. You can go for like a 2 town center semi-fast heroic if your opponent goes 2 town center themselves. There's not a whole lot of damage that a Hades player can do in the early game, so you don't really need to respect the fact that they build army. You just kind of go 2 town center fast heroic. And then you can go straight into Destroyer Arcus instead of wasting time with Terma as an option. So we'll see what Shadowfaxx is going to do. Definitely these kind of new age Atlantean players are starting to do some more interesting things. Think players like Yoshi, Soup, Shadowfaxx, even more to some degree, and more as an actual Atlantean player, but doing some interesting things with Oranos nonetheless. As Shadowfaxx getting his mana up on this forward hunt. One thing you do need to remember to do, though, against Hades and Greek to boot, is bring your oracles back. Bring your oracles back. Very important. We are seeing a pretty interesting wall here from Shadowfaxx. He's trying to trap this Elkin so he can happily eat this one against the early Ajax, but I don't feel like he spotted it moving forward, so I'm surprised he decided to throw these walls up. A little bit of a waste of gold, but it's not the biggest of deals, as his oracles are going to be sitting over here looking for something to do. Definitely wants to try and deny this town center if he can, as Athena is coming through, but Hagrit has no gold in the bank. So what's Hagrit going to be trying to do? Hagrit's throwing up a military barracks, throwing up a stable. He's going 1 town center. Yes. I love the 1 town center ideas here from Hades. It definitely takes your opponent out of their comfort zone, but doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be working. It still matters quite a lot. It matters quite a lot. Army movement, sniping units, making sure you take good fights, all of that good stuff here. As Hagrit's going to be moving forward onto his forward Aurochs. The Oracle Scouts already over here checking this one out. That's the Promethean Offspring going to be moving in to take these guys out. And we see the Ajax moving forward with the Minotaur over here as the Elk's going to get eaten up on this position over here. As we do see a cheeky shockwave there in order to take one of those villagers out. The Oracle's trying to get some good damage done. So we do see over here, Shadowfaxx not paying attention. We do see the, beautiful micro there from Shadowfaxx. I thought he wasn't paying attention, but he was just full send on, he's just committing all of his eyeballs attention on that Minotaur there, utilizing that special ability. As the Minotaur coming back in, will get taken down very, very fast. I'm sure that Shadowfaxx would have liked to have had his Murmillo get turned into a hero there, but not happening as we see the units having to retreat away from the opposing Ajaxes. Looks like the Promethean have been taken out somehow, some way. So Ajax will end up falling, but not before one Murmillo goes down. But picking off this Ajax is actually a really big deal here, as we see some good micro there from Shadowfaxx. He can garrison into the siege tower, not the siege tower, the sentry tower, which he does do. Micros his Terma away, and Hagrit is going to have to retreat back. So Hagrit, not having the easiest of early games here. He's got tons of pigs in his base. He's going to need a lot of income here in order to, a lot of food income in order to support his double military production here. As now Shadowfaxx is going to start pushing in, trying to take out something that Hagrit's got in this game here. As Hagrit is just simply darting around looking for something to take out, and now Shadowfaxx comes in. Oh, thank you so much for the raiding party, Harrison. Welcome to all of the Harrison viewers out there. I believe he's an Age of Empires 3 streamer. Let me just give him a quick shout out so I don't get that all wrong. And he has been playing Age of Empires 3, so go check him out if you are unaware of Age of Empires. Age of Empires is actually a franchise which made Age mythology, funnily enough. And yeah, fun times. Alrighty, so onwards and upwards. Surprised to see this relic getting left here. 20% wall hit points is actually pretty good. But Shadowfaxx is going to continue trying to find some pressure. The watchtowers are up. The question is where to now for Hagrit. So Hagrit's moving back up onto this hunt over here. He's got himself a handful of units. The Oracle is up over here to spot this one out. Thank you so much for the Prime, Ricky Rosello. Thank you so much. So Granary coming down here will eat these Aurochs, but will he be able to defend an Oranos? But it looks like Shadowfaxx is getting this town center instead of going up to full population. This is something that I don't recommend for the same reason that when Zeus goes for an Athena rush, you don't go for a second town center. Same thing holds true for Oranos. That Mythic Age, nice and early. I know it's not Hera, but it does so much damage. You cast Tartarian Gate, does so much damage, is really, really good. Not only that, you get all your upgrades in order to put pressure on, and there's no way for your opponent to get resources here in this game. But the walls are up for Hagrit, so that's kind of nice. You see this raid coming through onto these villages here as Shadowfaxx is looking in onto this position. He does get in here nicely. The villagers turning around, trying to shank a little bit. They are getting pulled back, but Hagrit coming in to try and defend it. Does lose a whole bunch of villagers there as this low HP villager falls as well. Hagrit's going to be getting, or Shadowfaxx is going to be getting out of there as Hagrit moves in onto this position. Shadowfaxx has his second town center up now. He'll be pumping out those villages as best as he possibly can. Shadowfaxx doing some cheeky shoot and scoot micro, but loses a Terma because of it. A little bit unfortunate, but we'll see if he can move in and snipe that hoplite down. Very angrily searching for him. Just to pick off a Toxote as a revenge kill. But Shadowfaxx now tons of gold in the bank. He's got himself 42 favor here. Now, this is something that Oranos players do pretty well, but the players that aren't Oranos mains kind of forget that they can just pull these villages off of gold and put them onto wood or onto pigs and stop gathering gold if they overgather that gold. So that's a thing that people have to work out. And the same does hold true to other civilizations as well. I mean, if you're playing any RTS game and you have way too many of one resource, you can take villages off said resource and then put them onto the resource that you need. In fact, it says that in most tutorials when you're learning the game. I'm pretty sure it's in one of the. I'm pretty sure it's in the first campaign when you're on Atlantis and you're getting attacked by the pirates. Pretty sure Athena tells you if you want more resources, you should take from one and put onto a different one. Could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I think it's true. Hagrit well on his way now, going to be grabbing himself his second town center, but Shadowfaxx already going through Thayed right now, so plenty of resources in the bank. He might even be going like for a kind of semi-fast mythic off of 2 town centers. Not even a semi-like, I don't even know what you call this. Maybe a semi-fast mythic off of 2 town centers. And we'll see how that's going to work for Shadowfaxx. Is he producing units again? Yeah, he's just heroic age and grabbing town centers, grabbing map control. Makes a lot of sense here. As we see the wall getting taken down, and Hagrit's going to throw up a safety wall over here as he's moving his units through here to kind of defend. We do finally see that relic getting picked off, but it's just going to be hanging here as we see the Hesperus tree coming in. And I guess all of that gold that Shadowfaxx once gathered is going to be used to some effect here to make those dryads out. But the question right now is, how does Shadowfaxx really convert the advantage that he's got right now? There's too many gold mines in the back over here. The walls are already set up. The pigs are in here, so Hagrit doesn't even really need to make farms. So where can Shadowfaxx attack? What can Shadowfaxx do? Grab this town center is a big idea. Palace down over here. Grab the town center a little bit later. Maybe go heroic mythic age first and then get the town center. Could be a great idea here. I do think that making all of these units right now doesn't make a whole lot of sense, considering you can go mythic age and hit the timing a little bit harder. You could also try Helios here as well as an option to try and jump in onto this back town center, take that down, and then take control of these gold mines as an option, and see how that goes. But we'll see what happens here as the walls continue to come up. The army just hanging out on this location here as the walls trying to get thrown up here, and they will get up, it seems, just barely. Yes, they do. It's like force Shadowfaxx back. Shadowfaxx in a commanding position right now. 3 town centers to 2 town centers, moving up onto this location over here to potentially throw that palace down with this citizen. He might try and grab it. We have seen Shadowfaxx be greedy with town centers before, so we'll see what he's going to really pick there. As irrigation going to be coming through. And Hagrit is just holding on for dear life. More farms coming down for Hagrit as he is just trying to get as much stuff out as he possibly can. Fortified town center now coming through for Shadowfaxx as the palace is getting dropped down on this town center. It makes a lot of sense here for Shadowfaxx as he's trying to break through. He still doesn't have any upgrades on his infantry units here as he does decide to cast the shockwave. He's pushing through this location. The Chiron in the back getting good damage done to the Stymphalian bird. You do have to micro these Stymphalian birds. They die very, very fast here as Hagrit going to be casting the Restoration God Power in order to retreat, in order to force Shadowfaxx back. Shadowfaxx decides to turn around, continuing this fight. The Stymphalian bird getting taken down. And Shadowfaxx is now away. Coming back up onto this position, getting himself some destroyers right now. And we'll see how it all goes. As Arcus getting trained out of this position, we see a marker getting dropped in basically the top corner of the map. I mean, it's pretty close. I mean, you got to give a little bit of kudos for the effort. Could have gone a little bit further away, and that's, I mean, he tried. He tried. One day. Anyways, Stymphalian birds moving in, getting some good damage done from afar. Does pull those back. As soon as you see the Chiron targeting down the Stymphalian birds, just pull back and then focus down the Chiron with your Arcus. It's very simple. Right now, Shadowfaxx not really able to push through Hagrit's army here. He's got 135, so he does have the population advantage, but most of that is in Citizen because he's got 28 Citizen. So he's just not really able to make this this army work here to push through. But he is trading efficiently, so he's not gaining any ground, but he is trading efficiently, or somewhat efficiently, I should say. As the Murmillo coming in onto this position, they will spot this gold mine over here. As Shadowfaxx is attacking a whole bunch of different angles of Hagrit's base here as he's continuing to push in onto this location. He chopped a Hesper's tree somewhere. I'm not sure what's happening. Maybe he dropped a Valor or something. As Bronze Shield's coming in for Shadowfaxx, trying to get some armory upgrades. He does have copper already, so that's already a big advantage, whereas Hagrit's got nothing here. It's the Stymphalian birds coming back in. Chiron wanting to come in and help out in order to take these Stymphalian birds down, which they do, but immediately that should be greeted with a little bit of a damage. Return fire here. But Shadowfaxx still not grabbing this town center. He's still pushing in onto this top side over here. Did he put a... Oh, he's got 2 Hesper's trees on this town center to try and block an earthquake, I guess? I don't think it's going to be able to. If Hagrit wanted to earthquake here, he could just chuck it over on this position here and it would hit the town center. Shadowfaxx still not able to push through, and Hagrit's defended nicely. And there's the 4th town center now coming down for Shadowfaxx. He does kind of realize that Hagrit's kind of stuck at this point. He's got himself Shaft Mine, he's got himself Plow, but his resources are fairly low. He's going to have to put a whole bunch of wood villages onto gold tier if he wants to get to the next age anytime soon. And like Hagrit's not really trying anything. He's just trying to hold on, which obviously that's all he needs to do. But one thing that he could try here is throw down a bunch of towers over here in order to prevent the units from pushing in. And that's kind of it. He does have the resources to do that, but at this point he's just trying to get to the next age, it would seem. As the Stymphalian bird going to be coming in. Chiron gets pulled back here. Decent micro from Hagrit to be able to do that, but we'll be losing that Chiron nonetheless as the Stymphalian bird coming in. We've got ourselves heavy Arcus through as well now as they move up to 7.2 damage per second compared to the Hagrit unupgraded Toxotes that deal 7.15 damage. Yes, the Shadowfaxx Arcus or the Atlantean Arcus have 20 range, but it's just a bit of a glaring difference there in terms of DPS. As now the destroyers moving over here, going to try and take down some of these buildings, continue moving in. Aphrodite is on the way. Plenty of resources in the bank for Hagrit. He could be spending those a little bit better, spamming out buildings and just making sure he can hold on to his position. See the Stymphalian bird over here, unfortunately targeting down the town center instead of targeting down these villages, but the Arcus coming in to take these villages down, and Shadowfaxx is able to click up Hecate right now, so no slowing down even after grabbing this town center. And that's going to be 4 town centers to 2 town centers. A mythic age on the way. And a lot of pain coming Hagrit's way. But Hagrit will be through Aphrodite, so he will be able to cast his curse down and get some Nemean Lions out if he so chooses. He's got himself 33 favor in the bank. So we'll see if that's going to help him out or not. As the Ajax going to be falling over here in the back as Shadowfaxx is fairly unrelenting here. Will we see the curse getting dropped? He probably should. It's guaranteed damage and gets him more pigs. So do see that curse comes in. Now Ford Palace coming down as Shadowfaxx is trying to break through. 4 sentry towers down as well as you can get watchtower upgrades in order to hold this position even better. right now. There's not really a whole lot of production going on for Shadowfaxx, which is sort of why he doesn't have full population right now. This Hero Destroyer is trying to chase down the Nemean Lions over here, as it will end up falling. And with that palace coming up on this gold mine is going to be expiring. I feel like Hagrit just feels like he can't win this game anymore. There's not a whole lot of options for him here. He's just kind of hanging in, and it's just not enough for Hagrit. He lost too much in the early game. Losing this position here is just kind of too much for him in the early stages of the game. I think getting pushed back and not really getting any damage done with the Ajax Chiron in the early game just meant he just didn't have any real options to slow the Oranos of Shadowfaxx down. And Shadowfaxx shows that his Atlantean is one of his strongest, and puts Hagrit out in this game, leveling the series 1-1. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow button on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next game.